Attention bobsled riders! You will soon be embarking on a thrilling podcast down the icy slopes of the Matterhorn. So please remain seated, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the bobsled at all times. Auf Wiedersehen!
Hello, yodelers! We are the Matterhorn Yodelers. I am your host today, Peter, with my co-host,
Jackie
and
Jesus.
And today we're back with more secrets.
I want to know all the secrets.
That's right. We're going to be talking about secrets of the Magic Kingdom, not at Disneyland, but at Walt Disney World.
Magic Kingdom.
Magic Kingdom. All right, and so
which makes it really hard because there's so much crossover.
there is, especially for the land that I had.
For me, as I was going through this, I was like, "What's interesting?
Right.
What did I find interesting at this point?" Because I've worked there, and it's all like, you pick things here, but it's like, "Oh, that's interesting. Well, I'll just share that." So, like, secrets for me, like, well, it's also interesting that you may not know.
Right. So, if you listen to our last one, the Disneyland one, that was mostly me talking for the most of the time, where they kind of chimed in with the few that they did, which it was great contributions. I'm not downplaying what you guys did last time, but I talked a lot.
It's been so long.
It's been a while, but we've kind of divvied it up by land, and we're gonna start things off where you start any day at the Magic Kingdom, which is the Main Street USA.
Main Street USA.
That's right. So, obviously, very similar to Disneyland's Main Street USA. Definitely taller than Disneyland's. I think it's more like, yes, it is inspired by Marceline, but I think they took more from Kansas City for the direction of Disney World's Magic Kingdom. So we're going to start things off as you enter in. If you look down, I mentioned this before for the Disneyland one, but the bricks are red, and that's meant to represent a red carpet as you walk through the tunnel on stage to the Magic Kingdom, so that you are literally the performers.
So when you walk through like Liberty Square and Adventureland and you're in the mud, is that what it is?
That's
like,
pretty much it.
You're in the muck of the park right here.
You're in the muck. That's right. But it's the intro, so you're starting things off on a magical movie moment sort of thing, and that's a Walt Disney idea. All the way goes back to Disneyland. So now, as you cross under the railroad, you start hearing something very familiar. If you know Disneyland, you might hear some. It's the same thing. It's the same recording that they have in Frontierland at New Orleans station at Disneyland of part of Disneyland's opening speech dedication. So you can hear that. So you on the East Coast, and I'm like, I really wanted to hear that. You can hear that underneath the train station at Disney
or you can
World.
just listen to the click click clack thing that
I
just
did because it's perfect.
It's perfect Morse
That's
code.
how good I am.
Peter
I know
actually
the
sleep
Morse.
talks, and that's what he does. He sleep
My
talks Morse
wife
code.
is all like, "Gosh, I'm done." No. So you've entered in. Something I found kind of interesting was Main Street is built on an incline. So when you're entering Disney World or the Magic Kingdom, as you're walking down the street, you're actually kind of going uphill slightly. Not so much that you notice. And that's meant to draw you in more, and also to help those people who are leaving at the end of the day to tumble themselves out of the park.
I can see that.
So that is
slow.
Right, to kind of flow that. Another thing that I thought was interesting were the lamps. So if you go to the town square part, if you look at the lamps, they're all oil lamps. But as you move down Main Street, those oil lamps turn into electric lamps, which is to show the progress of technology.
Of a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.
That's it, yeah. So you get that there. So in Town Square, so we're still in Town Square, we've got Tony's Town Square restaurant. which is based off of Tony's restaurant from Lady and the Tramp, which there are.
What are these? Is the night.
That's it. And so there are several mini Easter eggs there that relate to Lady and the Tramp. Like you can see the heart with the paw prints of Lady and Tramp inside the heart in front of the restaurant. Apparently, I haven't seen this, but apparently in the back of the restaurant, you see a little setup like Lady and the Tramp were having a pasta meal in the back of the restaurant. So, thought that was kind of cute.
It's okay.
From my understanding, it's microwave food.
As I said, it's okay.
that was my understanding. Is that it's microwave?
It's like Olive Garden.
It's an Olive Garden.
Yeah.
Which is microwave. I mean, no. Freshly made Olive Garden.
Right.
Don't sue me.
Well, we've already crossed that
I've
bridge.
got no money.
There's no money here.
There's no sponsorship. No money.
I've already crossed that bridge with my comments about Chapek in the last episode. But
episodes?
Episodes, several. Yeah, I know. I'm bad. If we go to the train station, there's a Lost and Found. And there are several objects there that belong to other Disney characters, like maybe Aladdin's lamp, and maybe some objects from Mary Poppins misplaced.
Poppins!
Yeah, so a lot of little mini Easter eggs there in the train
disease
station.
of the liver.
That is a reference there.
That's a reference to an SNL skit.
That's it.
I love that one.
The way they designed Main Street is they notice when people enter Main Street, because we're Americans, people tend to walk on the right side. So when you enter Main Street, all the food places are on the right, and then when you leave, all the merchandise is on the right. So it's to encourage you to eat all the food as you enter the park, and then pick up your merchandise on your way out.
Coffee's on the right.
And where's guest service?
Guest service?
Well, it depends on which part you're coming in. If you're mad when you're coming to the gate, you go to the left. If you're mad from being in the park, you go to the right.
Right. I mean, we've got we've got the fire station, which, there's no apartment there like at Disneyland, but there's a little Easter egg referencing the opening year of the Magic Kingdom, saying Engine Co. 71. So when the year Magic Kingdom opened. There's also fun statues. We've got the Goofy statue, which is in front of Tony's Town Square. You can sit there and get a nice fun picture with Goofy, a statue version of Goofy. As well as we have the Roy and Minnie bench statue, the Sharing the Magic statue.
You can sit on it.
You can sit on the bench and take a picture next to Minnie and Roy and look like a really awkward creep because they're looking at each other and you're just like sitting there. So it's like really weird. It's like this
story of my life, though.
This third wheel, like, I'm here too, guys.
Can you imagine if you had access to the Walt statue with Mickey? How stupid people would be with that. Yeah, I'm so glad they have a ring around it.
Totally. But they I've found some interesting things. They talked about how they design things. So the way Roy is holding Minnie's hand, it's supposed to represent. So Roy's holding Minnie's hand from the bottom, and that's supposed to represent Roy supporting Walt's dreams. And then Minnie looking up at Roy is supposed to represent looking up at all of Roy Disney's accomplishments. So I thought those were kind of interesting facts about the design of the statue.
Yeah.
But Walt Disney has 2 windows on Main Street. He's got one at the train station and then above the Plaza restaurant. So he's got 2 windows. I'm not going to go into windows because we have a whole other series just based off of windows and who those people are. So we'll get into more.
No, Peter, one by one.
All right. Albert and...
Window 35B.
Right. Right. That's pretty much what I have for the main street, kind of secrets and things to look out for when you're walking down Main Street.
So where we go now?
Well, we go clockwise, so let's go to Adventureland.
Ooh, Adventureland. All right. Adventureland, very similar to Disneyland, where it's just to the left or to the west. It's designed with kind of the four corners of the world, kind of with its design. You've got like each building is unique in its own little way. Where you've got four sections like the colonial period, the Caribbean islands, Agrabah, and Polynesia. And so we'll go with let's see if I can go down to, let's start with the Skipper Canteen, because that's new for me and I always put it at the bottom, but it's the first thing you're going to see. It's a new restaurant. When I say new, it's within the last 5-6 years.
Yes.
New to me. Where it's, so the Skipper Canteen has so many kind of little references in adventure. It's kind of it's the company that runs the Jungle Cruise, in a sense, with theming. So you're going to have all these adventure
a lot
themed rooms.
SEA references.
Yes.
If you don't know what I'm talking about, you should go back to our episode where we talk about SEA.
I was like, is he going to do it? Is he gonna... So, yes, this place has 3 rooms, is all I'm going to say. They have, like, a big, like, open kind of gallery room. And then they have, like, the Organization C meeting room. And then there's the parlor room where they have the Great Wall of China, where it's a room where they've got a wall with China on there.
Yeah.
And then they have like a lamp with tiki birds, the 4 tiki birds. And I was like, oh, it's really creative. So if you like that adventure theming, it's there. From what I heard, it had really nice food.
Yes.
And then new CEO came in and he got mad and they got the food. No, it changes. You can't have
every time you change a chef, it changes the food.
Yes.
So, and that happens
and money,
on the regular.
One account's like, we need to save money. It's like, well, we got to get rid of this. All right, dumplings it is, and
rice
fried rice
is too expensive. No, noodles are expensive. Give them rice.
How about cauliflower too? Oh gosh. So yeah, that's there. There are so many different like little things in there. There's not enough time to go into it, but it's a fun place where there's just cool little secrets and little like things throughout, kind of like Organization C. It's just a fun place to look at. All right, so we're gonna walk down there, and you see the Swiss Family Treehouse to the left or to the south, and there's one little fact about there. The story, the Swiss Family Treehouse. Or the story was, you're going to see a map in the library room, and it shows that they landed in New Guinea. That's more towards kind of a nod to the book as opposed to the movie. Mm-hmm. They also have a seat there now where people are like, oh, that's nice, there's a seat. But that seat was in the movie, it wasn't the original seat, but it's a replica of the seat of when the mother sits on it and watches the animal race. So what I'm referring to is the 1960 film of Swiss Family Robinson.
On Disney Plus.
It's on Disney Plus. It's a fun one.
Yes.
And you got pirates and you got tigers and like all sorts of fun stuff. And it's the dream everybody has of just, I want to build a treehouse and like I want to live in it. And I used to work in front of the treehouse. I had lots of fun with guests. My favorite thing to do was to ask people what color the garbage can was because I had nothing better to do. Blue or green. It's amazing what kind of responses you get.
Right.
And also telling guests, no, you can't take your ECV up because
it's all stairs.
They're all stairs. But yet somehow they would magically make it over the turnstiles, and you're like, what are you doing?
Yeah, didn't an ECV get stuck in there?
Always. There's always a summary with it. Yes. Okay, so as you're going there, you would see, as you're done with the Swiss Family Trail, you're going to enter in Agrabah, and you're going to see camels, and they're going to spit on you. Not like they're not controlled by anybody.
Disney did not create saliva for the camels.
It's genuine saliva.
Right now they've got COVID masks right there.
I'm sure.
So it's just dribbling down. No, they're old. So the secret for them is they actually been in the parks for a long time. They've been in parades. Back at MGM Studios.
At Disneyland.
They've
been everywhere.
And Disney World. And so these camels were put there, and everyone thinks that we control them to shoot at you when you're not paying attention. I worked there, and I've been shot with it. That's the worst thing. It's like cold out and you're walking. You got your little like task, and it's like you get hit right in the face, and you're like, ah!
Yeah, it's always funny when you walk by and you're like, you get hit and you're like, wait, bird poop or spit, camel spit?
There's Frontierland's where you always get attacked by the seagulls.
Yes, it's Frontierland with the birds, yeah.
So you got the spitty camels there. They've been in the park for a long time.
Always look at the ground.
If
If you see the ground is wet,
it's so
just avoid that.
Funny to get people complaining about it all the time. They'd just be like, you got me wet. And I'm like, I don't control the camels. I'm sorry. You want to ride the ride? So in front of Magic Carpets of Aladdin, you have 6 tiki gods. Those are created by Mark Davis. Those are his design. Mark Davis is famous for a lot of the rides that you enjoy. Pirates and Haunted Mansion, the classic ones. One of Walt's go-tos. All right, what else do we have? We have Jungle Cruise. All I've got is that the boats are inspired by Humphrey Bogart's and Katharine Hepburn's The African Queen. And then on the ride, half the plane that you see on there is the other half of the Great Movie Ride plane.
That's right.
So I did not know that. I was like, oh, that's pretty funny.
Yep. Disney bought a plane for the Great Movie Ride, and then they're like, well, it doesn't fit in the building, so they cut the plane in half, and put the back half in the Jungle Cruise because they thought it fit the theming.
And then that ride doesn't exist anymore.
Yep. Nope, does not. And who knows what happened to that plane?
It's somewhere.
Yeah.
Disney's gonna put it on display at the D23 Expo.
Why not?
No, sorry, that's Walt's plane. Sorry, wrong plane.
All right, so we're done with that. Skip over Magic Carpets Limit. Oh, we've already got that. Tiki Room under new management ended with Iago catching on fire.
Yes.
So.
Coincidence?
I've seen the pictures. It was on fire.
Only Iago got burned, no others.
Yeah, I started working the Tiki Room after they brought it back, but I knew people that were there, and they talk about one lady. It's like, the bird's on fire! The bird's on... Like the English was a second language for her, and so it was funny to hear her telling the story of the panic of the bird catching on fire. The Sherman Brothers wrote the music for that, so if you want a little bit of that, go there. And that's all I've got for... Oh, wait, Pirates. What do I got for Pirates? The fort, the Spanish design, was based off the Castillo San Felipe in Puerto Rico. You know that because of the famous turret. You see it and you're like, oh yeah, I've seen that before. So it's based off that. Originally, Pirates wasn't supposed to be there.
Nope.
They didn't want it. And
well Disney didn't see the point of having a Caribbean ride
in the Caribbean.
And so they wanted to do the Western Expedition.
Yes, they wanted to do that, but the fans go, no. I need me some pirates.
And we got the worst version of it.
I like the queue.
I think the queue is the most... It immerses you into it like Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
You're going through a Spanish fort.
Yes.
You get in there. The ride is fine. You just don't have the clank, and you don't have like the restaurant bayou experience.
Yeah. It's not as long as the Disneyland version, or I think the Paris one, does that one kind of do like backwards, like it does the story backwards, I think.
I think it was close when I was there, so
I think it does the story backwards, so like you go, like you see the living pirates and then they all become skeletons at the end.
I don't remember.
I think they go backwards. I think. I could be wrong, but...
They do have a thing that I didn't know. I don't know if it's still going, but it's the Pirate Adventure.
They just closed that.
They closed that?
It was so fun.
It seemed like
the Pirates Adventure.
Yeah, it was...
so it's like a scavenger kind of hunt.
Yeah, you get 4 missions, and you go around, and you get a little treasure map, and if you finish, you get a little fast pass at the end. Okay, nix that. That's not a secret anymore.
I think it might have opened up recently.
No, they got rid of it because of COVID. Like, they got rid of it during the COVID stuff. Like, they
don't want people congregating around.
Right.
Yeah. So basically, what they did do is like you get 1 of 5 missions, and you go around and help Jack collect. Like you go on missions around the Adventureland Pirates area, but apparently that's not a thing anymore. And I was wondering, it's like some of these secrets may not be there.
Yeah,
because
no, that was the hard thing
the
for me.
park
Like,
is moving and rotating with this COVID situation.
that's what I dealt with a lot with. Yeah, with some of them. I'm like, is that still there? I don't know if that's still there.
Was it like the Kingdom? What was the
card game?
Is that
Yeah.
even still
Oh,
going?
no, that's
that
gone.
ended.
Which I'm sad. I loved that when I was a college program.
I
Like, I
started it
collected
there.
the cards.
I had a whole bunch, and I remember giving them to one person. They were so happy that I gave them. I was like, well, I'm not going to be here, so what's the point of having all these cards?
Chapek found out that Disney was giving out free cards to people, and he's like, what? Cancel that!
Nothing's free here. 10-hour lines for popcorn.
Or a $25 popcorn bucket that you'll just store in your garage.
Yeah.
And then you'll tell your kids, this is worth something. Dad, you're kind of crazy. I waited 7 hours for it.
Right.
Okay.
Or I paid $300 on eBay for it. Yeah.
Should I go to Frontierland?
Go for it.
Okay. So you leave Pirates and you're going to go up Splash Mountain. I really don't have a lot for Splash Mountain. All I learned was it was originally going to call the Zippity Doo River Run.
That's right.
That's
Which
it.
we talked about on our...
And now it's Splash because of Tom Hanks.
That's right.
Tom Hanks is like, I want to ride. And he's like, yes, sir. And Michael Eisner saluted him. He's like, you are America. Let's see. You do have Thunder Mountain, Tony Baxter inspired by Mark Davis for the... What would I call it? The Western River Expedition.
Yes.
It was
Yes.
supposed to be, like a boat ride like Pirates, but then you'd have
It's
like
gonna
a
be
flume
Western
ride, and then you're also going to have like a row. It was going to be like all 3 rides in one kind of experience.
There was this like time period with Disney Imagineering where this was like something they were obsessed with. They had the same idea for Tomorrowland. Like Space Mountain wasn't just meant to be a roller coaster. It was supposed to be this multi-attraction
everything
thing.
goes and weaves in.
Like
and
this is
out
a Tony
together.
Baxter thing totally, because he did the same thing with Indiana Jones. Like when he was trying
Want
to
a
like
Jungle Cruise to go
the Jungle
through it.
Cruise was supposed to be a part of it. There's supposed to be a mine train coaster that was supposed to go through the attraction. Like these 3 attractions were supposed to co-intermingle. Like this was an idea, I think, mostly pushed by Tony Baxter. To do these like multi-attraction experiences. So, yeah. Which we did get some of the animatronics for the attraction built, but put into Epcot for the World of Motion attraction.
And where's that now?
Test track.
Yeah. Ooh, they got some light bulbs. Ooh, I'm warm. Ooh, I'm cold.
Oh, you're gonna hit the wall. No.
Okay, so Thunder Mountain was inspired by Monument Valley in the Four Corners area. We got the totem pole. You see that in like Back to the Future and John Wayne kind of Western films. Let's see the backstory. The town is called Tumbleweed. The mountain is cursed, and the flood caused the town to be evacuated. But the trains are cursed, and that's what's running, and so that's kind of the theme. What's there? They believe Professor Nimbius was the cause of the problem, and you'll see him on the ride. There's a portrait of Barnabas T. Bullion. Is he the one that's on Organization C?
Yes.
And so it's a portrait, and it's like resembles Tony Baxter in that. A little homage.
Yes.
And the mining office and the pay scale, you'll see the foreman, and it's called his name is called G. Willikers. And I was, that's kind of creative.
Yeah.
As you're coming back down Rivers of America, let's see, you got Tom Sawyer's Island. Inside the cave, there's the thing called the Hidden Jewel Goofy in the cave, in the Mystery Mine. I didn't know that existed, and so showed the picture. I was like, oh, it does sort of look like Goofy right there. Always about Hidden Mickey, but what about like a Donald or a Goofy?
There is actually another, and this isn't Disney World, but there's a hidden Goofy in the Pirates of the Caribbean at Disneyland. He's in that first part where you're going through the caves. At the right angle, it makes a Goofy. The rocks form a Goofy head.
How fun!
Yeah.
Okay, and then Fort Longhorn, the fort on Frontier or in Tom Sawyer's Island, is named after Samuel Longhorn Clemens. Do we know who that is?
Trivia
question. It's Mark Twain.
Clemens, duh.
Clemens,
yeah, I was like, I know the name. I'm just trying
Mark
to...
Twain.
Mark Twain.
We all know as Mark Twain, but that's his real name.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a
Samuel Clemens.
nod, yeah. Got that for him. And then we'll swing back as we're going up, because we're probably going to go to Liberty Square.
Yep.
Or not. We're in there. You got Pecos Bill restaurant, and there you got a portrait of the animation Pecos Bill, and they've got his little lasso in there, and they've got other rooms with the animation or animated characters. A little kind of nod to them. And for the shooting gallery, you're shooting a 54 caliber rifle replica. I used to be right next to that break room. My break room was right next to that. In between.
That's all you would hear.
And then people like walk in and be like, "My gun's not working." I'm like, "I'm on break!" And they're like, "You can't be back here."
Really, people come
Oh
in.
yeah, people come in and they're like,
yeah.
"Oh, I didn't get my money," and I'm just all like, "Not my problem." Let's just shut the door.
Not my
attraction.
It's
attraction.
like I don't even know where you came from. I've never been through that door, but somehow you came through there. Yeah, and so the shooting gallery is inspired by the Boo Hill Cemetery in Tombstone, Arizona. I've been to Tombstone, never seen the cemetery, but
I've seen photos and video of
yeah, and I saw it too. I was
I'd say.
like, okay, where you're buried in your boot, that's where they get the name from. So, okay, so we're leaving that, and we're going up north, and we're gonna hit. What are we gonna hit? We're gonna hit.
Don't hit anyone. That's against the Disney policy.
No.
We're not starting any more fights that are already happening at Disney World right now.
I saw someone get kicked out of the park. A whole family of like 13 kicked out of a park because somebody threw ice across the seance room, and it hit the family they were feuding with.
Oh my god!
And it was like the beginning of the day, and they kicked the whole family out. And I was like, that stinks.
I remember somebody...
That's an awkward car ride.
Yeah.
Somebody on YouTube made this funny commercial for a Disney product. And they said, Sock and Boppers Magic Kingdom Edition. And then the whole commercial, Sock and Boppers. And they're using actual footage with the edited Sock and Boppers on their head. It was hilarious. Sock and Boppers, Sock and Boppers.
That would be like a fun, like, skit, and to have security come at you and you start beating them up. They're like, oh, blah, 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 blah. Oh, that would be fun.
Oh, fun that. Pillow fight.
All right.
That's a video game idea. The fighting in Magic Kingdom.
All right, so we're going to Liberty Square. We're in the Liberty Tree area, and you have the 13 lanterns on the elm tree, kind of where the Sons of Liberty would meet back in the pre-revolutionary time period. You may see in Liberty Square, and we've mentioned this before, there's delineation of, like, there's the pathway, and then there's this, like, brown stream. We call that the poop stream when you work there, because back in the day they didn't have sewage, and they would just toss their poop out into the street. Man, you got mad about, like, a camel spitting at you, and eventually, can you imagine if the town crier comes out and he's all like, "Watch out!" and he just hits you with a fresh load of poop. I mean, that would be sad.
I did learn an interesting fact. I don't know if it's on your list, but there are no bathrooms in Liberty Square. You
No.
have to travel outside of Liberty Square to go to the bathroom.
And you know what? It doesn't surprise me because I've seen people go to the bathroom at Liberty Square, and I was like, how authentic. In the spirit of theming, that cast member didn't last very long. No, I'm just joking. You just see kids go to the bathroom everywhere.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
you do.
It's like, ma'am, you can't, no. He's almost done. Just like,
He shouldn't be started.
all right, find you that way. Whatever, I don't know. Okay, so you have the Hall of Presidents there in the circular half of the Hall of Presidents. You'll see 2 lanterns that's supposed to represent Paul Revere's ride, 2 by sea, that the British soldiers are here. You have Sleepy Hollow Inn, that's inspired by the Washington Irving story, Legends of Sleepy Hollow. Some of you may know this from Ichabod Crane's film from 1949. I grew up watching this with our family, and it's fun. I don't know a lot of people know that, but you can see that on Disney Plus. That's on there. It was kind of a 2-part movie with Mr. Toad.
Yes.
And you'd be like, oh, wow, Mr. Toad. That's great. I can watch that and then write Mr. Toad. And you're like, oh, no, you can't do that. But you can see Mr. Toad's statue in the pet cemetery at the Haunted Mansion.
That's right.
So that's kind of fun to see Mr. Toad, his famous pose. While we're at the Haunted Mansion, in the queue, there's a murder mystery. You'll see several busts in the extended queue. So in there's little riddles and little clues, and you can try to figure out what it is. And while you're on the ride, you'll see a portrait. I think it's right before the Hitchhiking Ghost, and you'll see who is the true murderer, or the last one to the list, the true survivor of all the killings. The stretch room at the Haunted Mansion, we discussed it before, it goes up. Does not go down. It goes up.
The ceiling goes up.
Yes.
You don't go up.
You don't go up. Yes, the room goes up. Not the room. The ceiling. Here's it. The exterior is inspired by Harry Packerman. Or was it inspired? Yes. It was inspired by a Harry Packerman mansion in Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania. It also incorporates chess pieces. If you look, there are no knights. And the reason for that, well, someone's come up with, which I've never heard, was that it's always night in the Haunted Mansion. And that's why there are no knight pieces.
It's spooky here.
We just had a note. We just had we're on the second floor and we heard something on the outside
start
of this.
Creaking and it's like, what's going on?
What's going on? Boy, that volcano has really got an effect on us
I
here.
failed to mention there are ghosts in this house.
Oh.
We're in the Matterhorn, Jackie. Come on.
We have a house in the Matterhorn.
There's a Yeti there. What else do I have? As you're leaving, there's the Liberty Bell. There used to be 2 of them in the park. The boat.
Yep.
The other one didn't last very long.
Nope.
Tragic accident,
Nope.
1980.
Yeah.
So they got down to 1 boat. What else about it? It used to be called the Richard F. Irvin.
Yeah.
But then they're like, no, Liberty Bell. And now, speaking of Liberty Bell, there is a replica of the Liberty Bell used from the original cast mold in Philadelphia. Some there. And that's all I've got. I have secreted out Western
Disney
Magic
Magic Kingdom.
Magic Kingdom, yeah. So you're in
All
Fantasyland.
right, let's go to Fantasyland. And, if you're walking past Haunted Mansion, you come across
A bathroom.
a bathroom. And people are obsessed that Disney just gave Tangle a bathroom and not a proper attraction.
I think it's a great
I
bathroom.
think-
Oh, it's a great bathroom.
It's better than nothing.
Yeah.
And it's a place for stroller parking.
Oh, man.
Yep. And so, if you didn't know,
We would send our strollers into Fantasyland. We'd be like, not my problem.
in the bathroom area of Rapunzel, it's a very cute area. There's lots of sitting area, so if you need
It's called a toilet.
No, outside of the bathroom.
I've got a dream.
Yeah.
I've got a dream.
I've got a stream. No.
There are places you can charge your phone there. And also there are hidden pascals hiding around. So if you need to charge your phone and distract your kids, just tell them to search for it.
There you
Pascals.
Go away.
Yeah, go find the chameleon thing.
Yeah.
Where's the lizard? I think I found it. Nope, it's invisible. You
Keep
can't
trying.
see it.
Keep trying. There's another one. There's another one. Keep going.
There's 100 of them. I found them all.
No, you didn't. Let me have a nap.
That's what the Hall of Presidents is. A good kidnapper show. Wait, I didn't mean it that way. Grover Cleveland, eat your kids.
So what's special about November 18th?
What is it again? What day?
What is special about November 18th?
Is that Mickey Mouse birthday?
It
Mickey
is.
and Minnie's birthday?
It is Mickey Mouse's birthday, and so Disney is known for hidden Mickeys. Well, this hidden Mickey...
This is the first I'm hearing about
There's
this.
books on this, Peter. Catch up with us. Catch up.
Hidden Mickeys.
So this hidden Mickey only occurs on November 18th, and it is in the Little Mermaid queue. So,
Does it go through the
cave?
yeah.
So on November 18th, the sun will hit a certain point of the cave and project a Mickey Mouse shadow.
Is it at a certain time? Or is it all day? Because I know, like, up in, like, Anthem in Arizona, they've got a seal, like, for the armed services, that when it goes through at 11:11 on November 11th,
it is a certain time.
It'll project perfectly.
Yeah, I have
every
seen
year.
that.
It is a certain time. I do not have that time. So, you just have to ride Little Mermaid
Google
ride
it.
all day.
Gosh, we don't do everything for you.
Why do you come to us for?
You know, towards the end of our like podcast recording, like, oh, I'm so done with it.
Just Google it. Like, there's information out there. That's all we did. We just Googled it.
Alright, so you've got the carousel in Fantasyland. That is Prince Charming's carousel. And when they made it, Roy Disney didn't like the placement of it and needed it to be perfectly aligned. And so they moved it 8 inches.
You imagine being the manager and you're like, you gotta be kidding me.
It's like, yep, you gotta.
He's like, I'm gonna give him a curse.
And then on the carousel, of course, each of the horses are unique in design. One of them is Cinderella's horse. And you can tell which one is Cinderella's horse because it has a gold ribbon.
Good to know.
The lead horse.
On the tail. Yep.
On the tail. Okay.
So they have an attraction, Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh.
It's a fun cue.
Yeah, it's very cute. It used to be Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. And so they actually put a portrait of Mr. Toad in Owl's space.
How fun.
It's him. It's Mr. Toad handing the deed over to Owl.
Yeah.
Or is it them just shaking hands? It could just be them shaking hands, but I think it makes more sense for him to be giving Owl the deed to Toad Hall.
Yeah. So in Peter Pan...
Oh, there's one more I want to mention for Winnie the Pooh. So there's this big tree out front, right? That tree did not always was there with Winnie the Pooh ride. There was a playground across the way where the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train is now. Well, that was like, there was like this little Winnie the Pooh playground. Well, in the tree, there's a little carving of a nautilus because that's what used to be where that playground was. So,
that's where the
2,000 league, 20,000 leagues under the sea.
That's where it was.
And so you can get a little tribute to that attraction right there. But you gotta break your back to get into it because it's in the tree. So.
Yeah. So Peter Pan, a fun fact, when you're over London, you can see like traffic and cars moving. How they made that to make it look so real is just black lights on a bike chain reel.
Oh, cool. So
movie.
they got like paint.
Yeah.
Just moving. Oh, that's cool.
So that was interesting. In the newer Fantasyland section, they have a enchanted. What's it called? It's like Enchanted Tales
of Belle with
of
Belle.
Belle. Yeah, with Belle. And in the queue, you kind of walk through Belle's like home growing up, and there is a picture of a older woman, a motherly figure, and a little one in a blue dress. And there's not a lot of information about this on the internet.
Is this Belle's mom?
It's
Unconfirmed.
It's unconfirmed, but
it's like Prince Adam's, like the name. They're like, it's Prince Adam. They're like, well, maybe not.
I knew a cast member that worked at this attraction, and they were advised they could not deny or confirm if it is Belle's mother.
Because the Imagineers didn't come up with a story for it yet.
It's okay. She died from the plague.
Gosh, how sad.
Well, that's what we got from the live action movie. You find out she died from the plague.
I didn't watch the live action.
From the Black Plague.
Remember, I don't like those movies.
But I will post a picture of what it looks like on our media, but it's you can obviously tell it's Belle's mother.
I thought Belle's mom was the one in the haunted mansion with the lightning flash, and you just saw her all decrepit and like scary. No, okay.
Let's see here. Let's go over to Dumbo area. So you'll see wagon tracks and peanuts stuck on the ground because the circus rolled in.
It's really fun thing that they did.
So Disney will use this technique in all of their lands and parks. Is when you transition,
Poop Rivers and you got popcorn.
That's right.
When you transition to different lands, the cement texture changes. So, like, in Fantasyland, it's, like, very, I don't know, like, fairy tale kind of.
They put glitter in it, in the concrete.
And then when you get to Dumbo and where the circus rolled in, it just looks like the circus just came through, and it's just very fun. In that area, there is a kind of like a splash pad of, like, wagons. There are 4 wagons, and each of them have numbers on them, and they represent the year of each park that opens up. So Magic Kingdom, it was 71, Epcot 82, Studios 89, and Animal Kingdom 98. They're on the outside. And then if you are going back to the castle, right up towards the back of the castle, there's a fountain of Cinderella, and if you're looking at it as an adult, she just appears like a normal girl, but if you look up from the height of a child, she has a crown on her head. So those are my facts.
So we're in Tomorrowland now?
We're in the future.
I'll be the judge of that.
Yeah, I know, right? So basically, all my secrets are tributes to the past.
Very future.
That's what most of the Easter eggs and things like that for Tomorrowland are, little tidbits from the past.
Remember,
mostly.
this place used to be great.
Yeah, just like remember
it's almost
the
like
old
a graveyard of good ideas.
Right.
Yeah.
So one, most of these are just references to Tomorrowland attractions, but there is reference to the Epcot attraction Horizons, and that is located in the exit walkout portion of Space Mountain. You'll see some luggage, and there'll be a little luggage sticker that says Mesa Verde, which is one of the final destinations you can end in the attraction Horizons at Epcot. So that
was replaced by Mission Space.
Yes. So that would be the big one in terms of other park reference. But there's lots of other reference, like let's say you get on the... There's several on the TTA, or the People Mover. For example, like you'll hear them say, paging Mr. Morrow, Mr. Tom Morrow, please contact Mr. Johnson. That's referencing not one, but 2 attractions. So Mr. Tom Morrow was kind of like your mission control guy for the Mission to the Moon attraction that was there when the park first opened. And then when they reskinned it to Mission to Mars, it was Mr. Johnson. So, a little reference there. Let's see here. So, the Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger Spin attraction, right? Obviously, it wasn't always there. There was another attraction there called Delta Dream Flight. And the sign had these big poofy clouds that said Delta Dream Flight. Well, when they got rid of Delta Dream Flight, they just repainted the sign. So literally, if you look at that sign, the sign kind of like billows out like clouds. And so they just repainted the sign.
Wow. They reused it.
Right. And they also reused some chickens that were on that attraction as well. There were some chickens that jumped in the air in the middle of the attraction. Well, those chickens now only have one eye, but they now jump up and down
Disney's so green. Reusing and recycling.
Right.
Ahead of their time.
Right. Here's something else they recycled. There's a spaceship that sits atop one of the like cooling places, like misters and things like that. For a while, I think DVC had a stand there, or they used to sell Coke there. And there's this red spaceship. Well, that red spaceship used to be in a movie called The Flight of the Navigator. It didn't look like that. It didn't look like a red spaceship. It was kind of like this chrome.
It looked like a brain, or like a seashell.
Yeah, kind of looked like a seashell, like a chrome seashell. That, for the longest time sat in the backlot tour at the MGM Studios.
Like the Dick Tracy cars and
right.
like the house from Rocketeer.
Right. Like that's where it would sit, like in the boneyard. And one of the ships just got destroyed due to the weather, and they repurposed. They had two of them, so one got destroyed, and then the other one, they repurposed it, repainted it, and they put it in Tomorrowland.
Wanted to be a studio there and MGM.
Right. So they repurposed that. Let's see here. What else? Old things can I mention? The bathrooms in the back of the land used to be the old Skyway station. So just like Disneyland, Disney World's Magic Kingdom also had a Skyway to and from Fantasyland, and they demolished some of the building. They demolished it all except for the bathrooms. So the bathrooms is the last remaining part of that building.
I was still there when they had the Skyway at Fantasyland.
Yes.
It was right next to the Haunted Mansion. They're like, don't go up there. There's asbestos. Okay, that's a great way to keep people out of there. Like, I don't want to die. But they also, that's where all the stray cats would stay.
Yep.
And they would hunt for rats at night.
And it's my understanding that this bathroom is one of the worst on property.
The worst?
Like, one of the smelliest bathrooms.
Depends.
It's probably near like a garbage, what's it called, vac.
The vacs. Yeah, that
okay.
smells. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's definitely considered one of the not the best place to go to the bathroom.
It's really not that bad because my break room was right next to it, and you wouldn't smell the trash. And there's only a door like you would have in a house, there. So that wouldn't be a factor, I don't think.
Okay.
I mean, it smelled going through, but once you get in the break room, you're just like, okay, it's better.
You're just probably used to it.
Yeah, I just smell like garbage all the time. I live in a garbage. Oh, thanks, Jackie. Throw that in my face. All right, times are hard, inflation, and then you're just like, you live in garbage. You're just used to it.
With Ralph.
Yes, Oscar the Grouch is my neighbor. Throw that into my face. How are you going to recover after that one, Peter?
Space Mountain! Everyone loves Space Mountain. It doesn't smell in space. In Space Mountain, they had to, based off of how big they wanted to build it, they actually had to build some of it underground because it would have been taller than Cinderella's castle. So it's actually 15 feet into the ground. So it goes into the
basically where the
tunnels is.
It's so it's on the second floor, but it actually went down to the ground floor.
Right. So that's how they were able to do that, because they don't want they want the castle to be the centerpiece, not some other structure in the corner.
The castle is beautiful.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Bang up job. Inside Space Mountain Cube, there's a sign that shows different space stations. Each of the space stations represents each of the different space mountains around the world.
Oh.
Because they each have a different space name.
Oh.
Usually, the Disneyland and Disney World ones are based off of the year the attraction opened. So, those are pretty easy to identify, but you'll see Paris and Hong Kong's and Tokyo's in there as well. We're going to move on to to Carousel of Progress, right?
I love that ride.
It's a great nap ride.
This attraction was a transplant from Disneyland, which was a transplant from the World's Fair. So you can go and watch it. We did a special episode just on the World's Fair, and we went and did a deep dive on this attraction specifically. So if you want to go back and learn more about the Carousel of Progress's history, you can go there. But it was eventually moved from Disneyland to the Magic Kingdom, making it the only attraction that Walt Disney actually touched. That he actually, like, the animatronics and all that stuff, like, he had a part of all of that. So we all know about the dog, right?
Yeah.
The dog that's in the show, right? Did you know there's cats?
There was a cat.
There are several cats.
Wow.
And I'm going to leave that out there. I'm not going to tell you how many cats. I want you guys to, like, find out how many cats are in the Carousel of Progress, because there's more than one.
And if you tell us, we'll give you a good job.
Yeah, we'll give you a high five.
We'll say your name.
We'll say your name, yes.
And make it a joke too, like Seymour Butts. No one's seen more butts than you, Uncle Tony. Heavyweights reference.
Yes, that was good. Also, the grandma, who you see in the show, she's like listening to the boxing match on the radio. Or is it on the radio or is she watching it on the television?
Can't remember.
I don't remember. It's either radio or television. But she's doing that. She can also be found in the Haunted Mansion.
Really?
Yep.
Oh.
She's in the ballroom scene, sitting down. So they use the same thing, so they say Grandma died.
So Grandma's died.
Grandma died.
Grandma
She's
died.
made her
She's
way to the Haunted Mansion.
645.
So, yeah. So, there's that.
Did you hear that Michael Caine is selling off his merchandise? Ever since we came out with that podcast, his
Michael
career,
Caine.
it's like he's just like, I'm done. I've been found. Caine!
Japheth is referencing our Haunted Mansion Stories podcast,
Yeah.
so go back and listen to that to find out Michael Caine's dirty story.
Last trip I went to Disneyland, I made Father Yoder and Mark stand outside of Haunted Mansion and scream Michael Caine. I'll post it on social media.
Cast members are like, what's going on?
What's going on? Like,
Michael Caine!
us and our 20 followers, like, Michael Caine, I know what that is. Yeah. Inside Tomorrowland, there are these palm trees. But these aren't regular palm trees. These are like metallic-looking palm trees. These are actually solar panels. And underneath are these coconuts that light up from the solar power.
Okay.
Kind of a cool thing. I was like, whoa, that's interesting. Didn't know that. And they also charge some of the other lights in the area. So, solar-powered palm trees.
Why not?
Why not?
They're in the Sunshine State.
Yeah.
And the last thing I want to mention, because I had to figure out, because I knew I was going to be the one ending it.
It makes sense.
I had to figure out, like, how to wrap this all up. And I
What's
brought...
the best secret of them all, Peter?
We're going back on the People Mover, and we're looking at Progress City.
Oh, yes.
Progress City was something that was designed back for the World's Fair, for the Carousel of Progress display upstairs from the attraction.
Yeah.
Where they had this display of the future, what the city of the future would look like, which was basically the first step of Walt's dream for Epcot, which was what he was aiming for and shooting for next. Obviously, we never got Walt's vision for Epcot.
What? He didn't want, people doing food and wine around the world?
He did not want 7-hour waits for Figment
Figment.
corn buckets, popcorn buckets.
A bad drawing of Figment went on sale as a joke on eBay for $10,000.
I'm not surprised by that. Someone has sold their soul on eBay. Not surprised.
Look, it's a Figment drawing.
I think you're onto something. Let's get to work, guys. I call it art.
But kind of bringing us back in.
Sorry.
I know. It's hard. But with, this was definitely Walt's dream. I mean, we kind of talked about this before. I reference a lot of prior episodes here with Walt Disney's influence at Magic Kingdom, and this was definitely one of them. This definitely sparked the movement to actually acquire the land in Florida. So without this little model that they came up with in the 60s, we probably would not have Walt Disney World in Florida as we know it today. So I felt like that was an appropriate Easter egg to end us up on. Thank you for listening with us today through our shenanigans and our joking around.
We are not professionals.
We are not professionals. But, let us know what your favorite secrets were. Or if there's a secret that we didn't mention, let us know. You can email us at matterhornyodlers@gmail.com. You can get a hold of us on, I believe, any of the social medias, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram.
Not TikTok.
Not TikTok. We're not there yet. Not there yet.
That requires our face. No.
We're not there yet.
I'm still in COVID mode.
Big beards and all. Jackie, you need to shave. No. But yeah, reach out to us. Let us know. We want to hear. We want to hear from you guys. Let us know what you guys think, and tell us what you like about the show. We're always curious about your feedback. We do occasionally hear back from every so often. One person is saying they like the trivia episodes, or they like the histories, or they like the secrets, or So yeah, let us know what you guys like. It helps us know what we need to prepare. Instead of us just being like, okay, what are we gonna do for the next month?
We're pretty good about planning stuff. We're not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
we love your input.
We want your input too, because we also want to put out what you guys want to listen to. So let us know. And until next time, auf Wiedersehen.
Thank you for joining us on this week's episode of the Matterhorn Yodelers. Please remember, before your bobsled comes to a complete stop, to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And remember...
Remain seated, please. Permanecer sentados, por favor.